Hi, welcome to a structured rumble that I decided to make about Europass. Now, a couple of things before I actually go with this. This is going to be a bit more structured than my usual rumbles. Not that my rumbles are unstructured, but you get the point. And yeah, I just sort of wanted to, because Jagex said that they were going to like rework it or something like that. So I kind of want to just give some feedback for them. And on that note, if you come into this video thinking that I'm just going to trash Jagex, I would leave, because I'd like to have a bit more of a nuanced take when it comes to a lot of these issues. So first of all, Europass, what changed from Yak Track? For the most part, it's the same thing. It's another battle pass, so yeah, it's pretty much just the same thing. Although, Yak Track was a bit more naked. You just had the two tasks that you had to complete, and then you would go up a step. This time, you actually have levels, and you have an overall point system, and you have multiple types of missions to complete. You have daily missions and weekly timed missions. You also have weekly and seasonal missions. That's, pretty good. You have just, again, bunch of levels. They also did the full 90 days now, because I talked about that last time, so I guess, I don't want to say they listened to me, because I released that video like 2 days before the pass was actually released. So, but yeah, honestly, this ramble is going to be kind of a complimentary video to that Yak Track video. I'm gonna link it in the description for you to actually take a look at it, because I think it's pretty complete, and I think it does have a lot of good points in it. For the most part, that's what they did. Oh, they also like added a new currency, but I'm gonna talk about that a bit further. And they also removed daily challenges. So essentially, that's what's different. The rest is pretty much the same. You have an overall point system. You complete missions, you gain points, you level up, you get rewards, you have free rewards, you have premium rewards. You get, it's a battle pass fucking system. Like it's not that complete or complex rather. So because I was essentially waiting for changes, and that's why I haven't made a content discussion video yet. And honestly, I'm gonna make a content discussion video on this later on, a bit more structured, more points and everything. But given that I just released the Yak Track video last week, I don't feel like making one right now, which is why I'm making this ramble. But yeah, obviously changes already. The daily challenges were removed, and they're already back. They're not already back, but they already said they're gonna bring them back. They also said that the content buffs are going to be removed, and that they don't plan on bringing them in the future, and that they just made a mistake there. They said that they're going to rebalance, so the Europass, so the rewards are actually easier to obtain. Again, very good change. And lastly, they actually removed the MTX from it. Yeah, they removed the. I'm gonna leave you, marinating a bit for that, because yeah. Now, obviously, with all of that being said, and while removing MTX is a very, very good thing, obviously, contrary to what some creators have tried to pass and pass, but say that, this is the worst update ever made, blah, blah, blah. Let's actually talk about the good, because actually this is some good stuff compared to Yak Track anyway. It's not that it's hard to have better stuff than Yak Track, but regardless, so the overall point system is really good. Again, it just gives more chance. Essentially, it's the skill and kill, but you don't actually take up a task slot. So, again, pretty good. I actually enjoy the overall point system. I enjoy that you can complete the entire thing without completing any of the tasks necessarily, because, yeah, gaining points is not a task. You just gain points by actually, playing the game and getting XP drops. I actually really enjoy the seasonal thematic tasks. I think that for now there aren't that many of them, and I know that they're gonna add more. I think they're gonna add more. It would be weird to release a 90-day pass with only 4 seasonal tasks, so I know that they're gonna add more. But on top of that, they're a bit simple, or at least simplistic, or basic rather, but they are there. They encourage you to go and do necromancy. They even give you some rewards related to necromancy, so at least in this case. So overall, really good thing. And the removal of daily challenges, in my opinion, was also a good thing. Ultimately, anything that nerfs daily escape, and honestly nerfs the interaction with treasure hunter, because the daily challenges give keys, so if you don't have daily challenges, you also don't have keys. That's a good thing in my eyes. It's a step in the right direction. Obviously, with all of that being said, there's also a lot of bad that was introduced with this system. Ironically, the daily challenges were removed, and now they're back. So yeah, look, I don't want them back. Again, I think that the nerf on Daily Escape was actually a step in the right direction. I think that, again, especially the keys, because I think that the keys is also a big point that people aren't pointing at, which is the fact that you no longer get keys from daily challenges, right? Because the daily challenges were substituted with the daily missions. That's a good thing, because like the less opportunity people have to go on Treasure Hunter and interact with that system, the less likely it is they get addicted to it, right? Essentially, it's sort of like about enabling and facilitating, right? It's like if you don't give keys for people to use on Treasure Hunter for free, right, and they have to buy them, essentially what you're doing is you're stopping to give them a reason to actually go on Treasure Hunt. Because if they have free keys, I have free keys, I might as well use them. And then they use them and it's like, but I almost got that reward. And then they go and buy keys. And essentially, the free keys are an enabler. Jagex wants you to use the free keys so you get more, just fine with using a exploitative system, one of the, if not the most exploitative system in the game. So them being removed, I think, was a really good thing. And again, like the nerf on Daily Escape, and because let's face it, a lot of people like daily challenges because they are OP. They give a lot of XP, and I'm gonna make a full video on that someday, but I don't think that's healthy for the game. I think that, again, it just encourages people to come back into the game, and I think that also people didn't realize this, but because daily challenges are back, Jagex essentially balanced the Hero Pass around having daily missions as well, which, now we started with one daily escape thing, now we have two, so it's even fucking worse than before. Furthermore, obviously the daily, weekly, like time tasks, I think that's kind of stupid. Again, it's just Jagex should have just gone all the way and removed the fucking thing. I don't know why they are in the game. Again, I think that it's kind of harmful. They don't really add anything. It's just, I don't think they should be in the game. I think it was a very, very poor attempt to just remove daily challenges. If you're going to remove daily challenges, here's how you do it. You remove daily challenges. That's it. That's how you fucking do it. Obviously, furthermore, the content buffs, thankfully they were removed, but I don't like them. I think that the content buffs are fine to have in the game, as long as they are in the same vein of, Anachronia totems, for example. Those were, in a way, content buffs, but because you have to earn the totems in-game, and you have to unlock Anachron and get a bunch of levels and stuff like that. It's just like any other progress reward that you get within the game. That is by far the only way of doing content buffs. When they said that players enjoyed it from the Golden Cape Hunt, I don't doubt that players enjoyed it, but I think that the Golden Cape Hunt is like leagues in old school, A lot of the bonuses you get are very cool temporarily. They're cool because they don't happen every day. They're cool the same way that party ads are cool. Party ads are cool because they're rare. Because if party ads weren't cool, they're not that great of fucking fashionscape. Let's be honest with ourselves. They're not. So I don't understand why they tried to. Thankfully, they're removed. They're not coming back. And honestly, they said that they wanted content buffs to be a thing where people would be more willing to experiment and explore the game. And if that's that is your objective with content buffs, I have one word for you: leaks. Just make leaks. That's exactly what old school does. You have completely broken relics and shit like that, and you have tasks and all of that to complete. And players just have fun. They have fun for like a month, 6 weeks, and then they move on. And oftentimes it's really good to also trial things for admin mode or trial things for the main game. One of the most popular relics was the Clue Scroll one, where you would be able to stack Clue Scrolls and you would be able to stack the rewards. And then while stacking Clue Scrolls itself didn't pass to the main game, although I think it fucking should, there's not a lot of reason not to. At the same time, the stacking caskets actually did pass. Right, and that was a thing that was mainly tried in leagues. So if Jagex really wants to try out the content buffs and stuff like that and see how players would like to approach them or whatever, just have them in leagues first. And I think the RuneScape 3 is actually a really good game to have leagues on. It has so much content, you could do so much shit. Just do leagues is what I'm saying. You already did Fresh Start Worlds. I'm sure you don't have a problem with creating fucking more servers. So leagues, we want leagues. Obviously, MTX being back, thankfully it was removed. Although I also think that I need to address here a thing, which is a lot of people have been saying that this is like the worst MTX Jagex has ever done. I don't know if people realize this, but the MTX in Hero Pass is the exact same as in Yak Track. like the exact same, first of all, the buying skips with bonds was already in Yak Track. I don't know if it costed, because I don't know if 2 bonds bought 10 skips, or if you needed actually 4 bonds for 10 skips. I can't recall very well, but you needed around 10 to 20 bonds to skip all of the tasks. Here you need 24, I think, to skip all of the levels, including the elite ones. And then here, and that's what people usually are going to say, oh, but here you could buy currency for the shop. You could also do that in Yak Track. You couldn't buy directly the Yak coins, but you could buy skips for the last task, and then you could just continuously repeat the last task with skips by skipping it, and then you would just continuously get Yak coins and get the rewards, consumable rewards, that you could also buy in the Yak store. So really, the MTX here is exactly the same as the Yak Track 1. So I don't know why people were so upset here. I mean, we've been dealing with this shit for 4 years. Why are people only upset now? I mean, honestly, thankfully, it was removed, so I guess it worked out in the end, but honestly, it could have been removed like 4 fucking years ago. So, yeah, good, I guess. And then you also have, obviously, the 15% XP bonus. I know it's just 15%, but now it's even worse, because at least with Yak Track, you only had like 50 days. Now you have 90, which feels like you have 15% bonus pretty much permanently throughout the entire gameplay, which is just not a good thing. Personally, I think that if your system is good enough, you don't need this XP bonus. I just think it's a really bad thing to have in the game. It's a really bad incentive. Not everything in the game needs to have XP bonus, which is another video that I need to make, because Jagex seems to think that that's the way to make things not death content. It's just a horrible mentality to have, and I think it just ruins a lot more content in the game than the one it actually revives. So, obviously, with all of this, the solutions. And I think that before I actually talk the solutions, I need to talk about why did this fail for so long. And I think that it's because Jagex thinks that the pass is optional. It's optional content, just like most other OP content in the game, like daily challenges, or any monthly like Troll Invasion, or Oyster, or protein items from Treasure Hunter, or speaking of Treasure Hunter items, stuff like the Traveling Merchant, right? Like, all of these are OP things that are optional. You don't need to actually indulge in them to get the OPness from them. But that's the thing, while Jagex perceive that and build the pass that way, they build a pass of, the players that usually average play this amount of time, they usually want to get these rewards, so we're gonna make the pass so they get these rewards, and blah blah blah. And what they didn't realize is that when it comes to a battle pass specifically, players like to actually finish it. Like, you don't finish stuff like proteins or whatever, you don't finish stuff like monthlies, right, despite being OP. But when it comes to the pass, even though they treated it the same way, players actually want to finish it, and I think that that's what they didn't realize, and as a result, it sort of created these conflicting ideology between the players that wanted to simply have a piece of content that renewed every 3 months, that they could finish and indulge, just be extra content in the game that they could indulge for, a week or 2, maybe 3, and then just move on to the next thing. And Jagex wanted this to be more of an optional thing on the side. So I think that that's exactly why it ended up failing. It's just the conflicting ideology, because players just want to complete it. They want to complete the pass. Now that that's out of the way, let's actually, talk about some of the solutions. First of all, I would just remove daily tasks. I think that in the weekly tasks as well, any limited time task that isn't throughout the entire pass, it's just kind of stupid to me. It doesn't have a reason to exist, and especially now that you're going to reintroduce daily challenges, you might as well fucking just remove this next pass. Next pass, just remove the daily tasks altogether. I think they're kind of stupid, and you can replace them either with 2 things. Either A, you allow them to just accumulate, so by the end you technically can have like 90 daily tasks accumulated for you to do, but at least, players don't actually feel the need to log in every day to get the rewards. Or B, what I would actually do is just make it so you create a pool of basic tasks, the cat 50 logs or whatever, right? If you need any ideas, just go to I'm Tedious YouTube channel. He has a generate task account, so just grab his task, fucking yoink it. You already copy shit from, the community anyway. So just, create a pool, and then players can just generate how many tasks they want. So, I'm gonna go there, and daily missions, no, generate task, and then they get a task, and then they complete the task, and then they're like, actually I want to do another, generate task, and then they can do another, and then generate task, another. Okay, you know what, I'm done for today, and I don't want to complete any more tasks, right? This would actually allow players to not only take it at their own pace, but also grind the Yak Track at their own pace, because, they could put in a lot of hours in the weekend. If they have hours in the weekend to put in, they could just do that, right? I think it creates far more, because ultimately you want the pass to be a thing that can be approached in different ways. Obviously, some ways are more rewarding than others, but you want the pass to be a thing that it's approachable in different ways, right? And another thing should be that the pass should just be completable through only seasonal and weekly tasks. You know, the ones that stack until the end of the pass. I think that the levels for the cosmetics that you gain cosmetics from should just be completed through those tasks alone. So if you only do those tasks, and those tasks are the only things that you care about because, you know, they're the fun tasks to do, you should be should have access to all of the levels that have the cosmetics as a result, right? And alongside that, they should just reduce the amount of grind that you have. I think that, like, they should reduce it for like 100 hours, because the entire thing should be able to be completed without ever touching any missions, like literally any missions if you don't want to. For like, what, 100 hours, for example, that's an hour every day, a little bit over an hour every day, and by playing it, you're gonna end up completing daily tasks anyway. So I think that's what you should end up doing, because again, like, players just want to sometimes be done with it, you know, just complete it, be done with it, move on to the next thing. Ultimately, you know, it's that thing where if you have this in game, you know, and you allow players to actually then complete it pretty fast, even by not touching the tasks, then the focus is not so much on the rewards themselves, but the focus is on actually the tasks themselves. And I would, you know, argue that the system and the tasks themselves can, you know, stand on their own, especially if we have a button that can generate tasks where, you know, people are going to be like, oh, you know what, I don't know what skill to train, generate task. You know what, yeah, let's do some woodcutting, fuck it. You know, I think it would just be better. Overall, I would also just remove the fucking XP bonus. Again, it doesn't have any place in the game. You already removed fucking content buffs, remove the XP bonus. It's especially now that the pass is actually going to be around for 90 fucking days, not 50. It's going to be worse. It's going to feel like you have permanent double XP almost, you know. It's not double XP, but still, you know, permanent XP bonus just for engaging with the scythe content to me is stupid. It's like having 25% XP bonus because you went to Anachronia. It's just kind of fucking stupid to have. It's just not a thing that should exist in the game. They should just reduce it. And yeah, outside of that, I mean, look, if you're worried that players might not, you know, indulge with it, whatever, I think that honestly the fact that you have consumables, which I'm not a huge fan of consumables, nor am I a huge fan of events that have consumables, but in this case, I can understand why they exist in the game, and they serve as plenty of reward for players that want to keep engaging with the tasks and do every single task despite being level 120 or whatever. I've already gotten level 120 by just playing the game normally. But yeah, I think that that's just already reward enough for players to, you know, to essentially just do the track. And again, like, trust your own fucking tasks, you know? Like, if the tasks are good enough, players are just gonna buy them, you know, or they're gonna play them. And when it comes to, you know, the monetization of the battle passes, because obviously battle passes want to make money. That's why they exist. Fine. But you already have that. You can buy the premium pass for the battle pass, because battle passes work on the system where you have free rewards and you have premium rewards. And in this case, it's no different. If you want the premium rewards, you need to buy the premium pass. The thing is, if you already have Premier Club, you know, the thing where, I don't know if it works for every single tier, but if you already have Premier Club, you don't need to buy this pass, which means that, you know, obviously for Jack X is way more security, because you already guarantee that that person has already paid like for the next 3, 6 or 12 months. I mean, for me, I already play the game year around. I already have Premier. I've always had Premier. It's just, you know, free membership pretty much. You pay for 10 months and you get 12 months of membership. So I'm like, yeah, I'm already paying for it. So I just get free rewards, essentially. You know, you have a way of keeping players sort of loyal to the game and keeping players from, you know, subscribing from the game to get rewards, and it's just a nice little system on the side, so you don't really need to worry. I think that that guarantee is already good enough monetization. I don't think you need any fucking more, you know, especially because it's clear they're not even investing it into the fucking game, so, you know, but yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, again, I'm gonna make a more full-fledged video about this, but again, a lot of the points that the Euro Pass has, because it's a battle pass, so a lot of the things in the battle pass I already talked about on my Yak Track video, which will be in the description if you want to watch it.